Rewind podcast initialized. Mission identified. Labyrinth. 1986. Co-hosts online. Auditory analysis online. All systems nominal.
Welcome, everyone. This is the podcast where we look at movies and video games from 15 or more years ago and let you know whether they're still worth revisiting today. My name is Francisco Ruiz. I am a dad, a designer, and something else that starts with a D. Oh, a dancing baby. That's what I was going to say. But I'm not really.
You're a dancing baby?
Yeah, you know.
Well, now that they can see the video, the viewers, they know.
Yeah.
Look at this bald head. It's like a baby.
Oh. You're a old baby.
Benjamin Button?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, who's not dancing, but all right.
For those of you not watching us on our video of this, I am joined as always by my good friend Paul Powers. How are you doing today, Paul?
I'm doing well. Thank you very much.
Awesome. And I just realized it may not be switching to you appropriately, so hopefully it'll start doing that now.
Oh, you're not recording the lower part either?
What?
You know, like you're only recording the main window. You're not recording all three, like the big one and the little windows underneath as well.
No, but when you're talking, I want it to go to you.
Well, then go to me.
Okay, I think it's. No, it's not.
Now it's not going to go back.
Yeah. What?
Oh, no.
Oh no. Oh, there we go.
How about now? No.
Well, it's not switching to you, but maybe it will.
Eventually, when I start talking for a while. No, it's not.
You know we're muted, so it's probably not going to.
Oh, it has no
Oh,
audio.
how about now?
Well, I'm doing it manually, so
You'll
we'll
just
go
have to click over every now and then.
that route.
Okay. Well, yeah.
Okay, everyone, welcome again. I'm joined by Paul. Question for you, Paul. Let's get back on track.
Oh, sorry. Okay.
That's okay. What was your favorite toy as a middle schooler?
Oh my goodness. Okay, I have to think about where I was at middle school because I'm an Army brat and we moved around a while.
Sure.
So for middle school, that was basically sixth. I was in Germany. Seventh was a different part of Germany. And eighth, let's see, the Game Boy came out right at the end. I got it for the Christmas in my 8th grade year. So I don't know if that counts. It barely makes it in there.
Sure, but
Oh, okay. That was the
I would
original
count it.
Game Boy.
Awesome. Very nice. That was an awesome system.
Yeah, green and black. Woohoo!
Alrighty, and join me to my left, who you'll probably see below me, if you're looking on the video, is my friend and neighbor, Kellen Arb.
Hello.
Coming back to the podcast, fresh from his visit for the Return to Oz episode, which you can go back and listen to on retrorewindpodcast.com/RRP8.
He won't move.
Yeah,
I'm
not
moving.
going to.
You just can't tell.
Very slowly. We can't even tell.
Kellen, why don't you tell us just a little bit, just remind us what you do for a living and anything you. Oh, actually, have you beaten StarCraft II: Heart of the Swarm since you were last on?
Ugh, so mean to ask. No, because I could remind people I am also a father and thus don't have nearly as much time as I would like.
No.
So no, I've been making very slow progress, although I still think it's very worthwhile. It's a lot of fun.
Awesome. And did you want to say what you did?
For a living or?
Yeah, usually.
Sure,
that's
yeah.
what I mean.
I guess, like I said. I mean, I could tell you lots of things I do. Sometimes I drive to work, and other times I drive home from work. I ate an apple today. But, you know, if I had to say what I do, I suppose it would be I'm a software developer.
Well, there you go.
Yeah.
Awesome.
I got there, see?
Thank
Yeah.
you.
What kind of software?
The type that goes on a computer?
Yeah, like games, or is it
No,
like?
yeah. No, it's a development. Application development. The current stuff I work on is hard to summarize.
No
Oh,
worries.
are you legally allowed to say what you're working
I
on?
can. It's just hard to describe. I guess it's EDA software, electronic design automation.
You know what? I'm bored already.
That's
Let's
what I
go
thought.
ahead and move on.
Wow. It's kind of rude to your guest. I mean, first he can't even move, and then you're like, "Oh, shut up. We're moving on."
I'm way more interested in what he has to say about Labyrinth than
Oh, okay.
his
Yeah.
job.
I'm sure a lot
Um,
of people are.
So, are we going to be talking about Labyrinth, Paul, or would you tell us what the show looks like today?
Well, so we're gonna be changing things up here a bit. After hearing from some of you, we decided to get right to the Round Table Pizza review and give you our classic second-class rating on Labyrinth. So, the show stinks, and good night, everyone. No.
Good night.
Not that direct.
Oh, sorry. No, it's a good movie. Maybe. We'll see. And then we'll go
As yet to be determined.
Yeah.
Oh, fine. So after that, we will go to the new tube, tying in some contemporary media back to Labyrinth, hopefully.
Mm-hmm. Not everything might be tied back to Labyrinth, but we're going to do our best.
We'll find a way.
Yeah, exactly.
Right. Then we're going to try out a new segment, which is a surprise. Finally, we're going to wrap it up with feedback and show announcements.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Paul. And with that, let's go ahead and get right into this round table. Alice, do you have our target ready?
Alert, alert, target located. Spoilers, incoming. Engaging retro rewind reactor.
I feel like we've all turned into the Brady Bunch since we're being
I
filmed.
Jim Henson, creator of the Muppets, and George Lucas, creator of Star Wars, take you on a dazzling adventure.
There's nothing to be afraid of.
Turn back, Sarah, before it's too late. She must be stopped.
Labyrinth, rated PG, starts Friday at a specially selected theater near you.
Now, I know most of you probably totally got what Labyrinth was about from that 30-second TV spot, but just in case you didn't, Kellen, would you read us the synopsis for Labyrinth?
I would. Journey into the fantastical world of Labyrinth, starring David Bowie and a cast of incredible creatures created by Jim Henson and produced by the master of myth, George Lucas. Frustrated with babysitting on yet another weekend night, Sarah, a teenager with an active imagination, summons the goblins from her favorite book, Labyrinth, to take her baby stepbrother away. When little Toby actually disappears, Sarah must follow him into the world of the fairy tale to rescue him from the wicked goblin king, Bowie. Guarding this castle is the Labyrinth itself, a twisted maze of deception populated with outrageous characters and unknown dangers. To get through it in time to save Toby, Sarah will have to outwit the king by befriending the very goblins who protect him, in hopes that their loyalty isn't just another illusion in a place where nothing is as it seems.
Thank you very much, Kellen.
My pleasure.
And Paul, will you please tell us some of the technicals about Labyrinth, like how it was made, what went into making it, and maybe even how much it made?
All right. So Labyrinth was made a couple hundred years ago. They started with seeds, and it grew up from the ground, and it created these trees around certain areas. That's how it was made. And then they put mortar and brick on it.
I totally thought you were going to go off like Greek mythology, the original like Labyrinth.
No.
But
But so that one was made too, I'm sure.
yeah, but probably
Okay.
more than 200 years ago.
Anyway, this movie, Labyrinth, came out in June 27th of 1986, at least in the US of A. It was directed by Jim Henson, creator of the Muppets.
Yeah.
Written by Jim Henson and Dennis Lee. And it stars David Bowie and Jennifer Connelly. And it also, as you heard, it's one of the producers, probably the most famous producer of all the producers in this, is George Lucas, created Star Wars.
Oh, that guy.
Yeah.
That's-
And the director of choreographer, one of the main choreographers in this film, was Cheryl McFadden, who is otherwise known as Gates McFadden, who actually played in Star Trek: The Next Generation as
I don't know.
Troy?
no,
Dang.
Beverly Crusher, the Doctor.
Oh, it's
Oh,
Crusher.
really?
That is awesome.
Yeah,
So
So-
she was part of the
The cho-
special. What'd she
one of
do
the
on this one?
choreographers.
Choreographers. Oh, cool.
Yeah. Like she was in charge of like the ballroom dancing, that kind of thing.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Very nice.
That's awesome.
Yes.
Did she
And,
also make sure to get the poison out of Sarah since she's the
Oh,
doctor?
she's the doctor? No.
no.
No. But how
That was a
she-
lame joke. Please continue. How much did
That's
Labyrinth make?
fine.
out
The
with that?
budget for this film was about $25 million.
Okay.
But it doesn't say how much it made worldwide, but in the US it made almost $13 million. So not really yeah. Unfortunately, it didn't really make their money back on that one.
No.
Well, thank you very much, Paul. And with that, let's go ahead and talk about. I think I'd like us to start with like what we really remember loving or liking about this movie before we rewatched it again just recently. Kellen, let me kick it over to you. What is something that you remember loving about Labyrinth?
Well, first I'll give the first thing that came to mind is I remembered the first time I saw it when I was in grade school, a bunch of friends at a sleepover, and the very first scene when they go into the kind of the fantasy world and Hoggle is peeing into the lake. Because when I was a kid, like, we were all not sure what this movie was about, and that's like the first thing you see, and we just lost it.
Oh,
So
yeah.
that is stuck in my head vividly ever since.
Awesome.
So yeah, that was the first thing that came to mind.
Nice.
Okay, before we get into it too much, are we going to do the thing that you always forget is our predictions?
Yes, thank you, Paul.
Oh, look
Keeping
at
me
on the ball.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, let's go ahead and do our quick fire predictions of what we thought we would rate the movie before we saw it. Kellen, since you were just speaking, go ahead and tell us yours.
I definitely remembered it being first class. I thought it would hold up for sure.
I'm not sure what this first class rating you're talking about is.
It's a classic.
Oh, okay. Well, I didn't know.
I totally thought it was a classic.
Yeah,
Thank you for clarifying that. Paul,
My-
how about yourself?
classic.
All right.
Attaboy.
Francisco.
And I actually thought it was going to be a classic too.
Hey.
We'll see if that.
Whoa! What's with that tone?
I guess we'll find out in some short period of time here.
Exactly. Stay tuned.
Hoo-ha.
Same RRP channel. Paul, Paul, did you remember the peeing part as something that stuck out? to you?
No, but when I saw it the second time, I did and laughed out loud. Of course.
I don't know what it was, but for me, I totally. I don't know if I was just taking it as a given. It didn't stick out to me at all. But
You may be the most mature. Scary thought.
Hey, it's life. Goblins pee. What are you gonna do?
It's a
Yeah.
fact.
Yeah.
not to get on too much of a tangent, but is Hoggle considered a goblin?
Yeah, I think they're all goblins.
Yeah.
Alright. Well, like Ludo and
Okay.
They're
what's the
goblins.
fox?
The
dog
fox.
guy?
The fox is not.
Didymus. Yeah, they're not goblins. So.
That's true. Well, yeah, Hoggle's a goblin.
Yeah.
All right.
And for all you Harry Potter fans,
Do they say Hogwarts? Does he call him
yeah, but
Hogwarts
more than
once?
once.
Yeah, several times.
Nice.
Yeah.
So Art, J.R. Not wow. I was gonna say J.R.R.
Tolkien.
Rowling.
I thought we could say Tolkien.
Now that would be a book. J.R.R. Rowling.
J.K. Rowling. Is that right?
I think
Yeah.
so.
Yeah, she stole it from Labyrinth.
Yeah. Documented. Actually,
Paul-
The Simpsons did it first, and Labyrinth stole it from Simpsons.
Oh, all right. Anyway, Paul, what is something that you remember really loving about Labyrinth before you watched it again?
Things that I remembered before watching it is basically Jennifer Connelly duking it out with David Bowie. No, not basically, but clashing. Just the two main characters and going through the labyrinth. I remembered the balancing of the crystal balls, and
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
it's so awesome.
I had forgotten about that, but it is cool.
I actually got a kit a couple years ago, and it teaches you how to balance the balls.
Oh yeah.
and it had like a DVD instructional with it. And I started reading the instructions. I was getting really excited, really into it. I was like, oh yeah, I'm gonna be like David Bowie. And then I was reading the instruction. It says to really get a handle of this, you should practice at least 8 hours a day. I'm like, are you kidding me? I have a job. I have a life. Forget that.
How good do you want to be at it, Paul? Come on.
Obviously not that good. So
Have some dedication, man.
honestly, I gave it away as a white elephant gift from there.
That's a good use.
Yeah.
I recall, not this time, but last time, I don't know, several years ago now, when I watched this, I think I watched it with either commentary or behind the scenes, and that's actually not David Bowie doing the actual ball thing. It's someone else off camera, but they position it so it looks like him doing it.
Yeah, I just learned that, and I was kind of disappointed, but kind of it made me more impressed with the guy who did it, but kind of disappointed that there aren't these people who are randomly born with that ability, like to roll your tongue. Maybe I thought, growing up, maybe there are people that can naturally do that, just ability, but
not
it's
so
the kind of
much.
things you think of as a kid.
Yeah.
Sure. When I remember when I was watching that, I was wondering because most of the shots where he was doing the fancy stuff were from behind. I was thinking that can't be Bowie.
Yeah.
No, some of the shots did look like it.
Yeah,
I mean,
so there were a few from the front. So.
yeah. So they did a good job in
totally.
doing that.
Yeah. And actually, speaking of doing a good job, one of the things I remembered loving about this movie was just the whole puppeteering and all. I didn't remember a lot of the characters, but the ones I remember just loving how real they felt, and just, I mean, I've always thought Jim Henson does such a top of head of the class, top of the line,
Top notch.
Yeah, top notch job.
Well, he's known for that. There's nobody above Jim Henson.
That
comes
is
to
the top
puppetry.
for sure.
Well, that's why. That's why I say.
Yeah.
Kellen, do you have any other things that you remember either really loving or liking before you rewatched it?
See, now I just got the pee thing stuck in my head. But no, I really,
Waterfalls.
yeah. Now I'm gonna have to get up and go to the restroom.
Don't go chasing labyrinth.
Oh goodness.
I actually hate that song. Anyway,
why would you sing
I
it?
keep totally derailing you. I'm sorry. Please continue.
So, yeah, I mean the puppets in general were definitely loved them, but I guess the only other specific thing that I really remember. Actually, this just makes me sound like terrible, but I remind everybody the first time I saw it, and most of my memories were from when I was a grade schooler, because the other was the bog of eternal stench.
Yes.
Yeah, and the fart noises.
Yeah, it just kept farting. Exactly. And so that was the other part that as a kid I just cried watching.
Because I think I saw it came out in '86.
Yeah.
So I didn't see it in the theaters, but I was probably 11 or so when I saw it. Were you scared as a grade school student in some of the scenes? Because some of the scenes were dark. I was wondering if, being that young, if some of the scenes were scary to you.
When the baby first vanishes and it's all dark and there's the goblins and stuff are running around the room and you can't quite see them, that freaked me out as a kid. So when we rewatch it, we'd fast forward past that to get into the labyrinth part. And that's the other one actually. The other thing that I loved as a kid that I just remembered that was also kind of scary but awesome is the hands when she falls down the pit. Yeah, and they make the faces and talk, because it was terrifying when she's falling and there's all these hands there, and then suddenly awesome when they're talking to you and making the little faces. So that was cool.
And that's one of those parts that. Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Paul.
No, I was just going to say that was one of my favorite memories that I put down before watching it. Just the ingenious of using other people's hands to make these faces, and they did it in such a cool way. It's just fascinating.
Yeah, so that was awesome.
Yeah, I had totally forgot about, like I said, there's several characters and beings in the labyrinth that I had forgotten about. But seeing that again, totally. That's one of those things we're going to get to later on. But the things that you forgot about that instantly come back to you when you rewatched it. For me, those hands were the same way. To talk about things that were scary though, Paul, I I don't have a recollection of being scared of a lot of things in this movie. I don't know why. I wouldn't doubt that I was, but I just don't recall any scary moments.
Yeah, I don't remember being scared, but I remember being dark, and it's like this is. I
Creepy.
remember thinking at the time, this isn't really kid friendly that much, when it comes to these dark overtones.
You know what? It's funny. I just said that I don't remember any parts being scary, but I looked at my notes and I'm like, oh yeah, there was one part.
Oh goodness.
I remember the drill.
Oh, yeah.
That's coming toward them and all
Yeah.
these things, and they're like, there's no escape essentially. That being freaking me out, but like the hands, after you see it go by, and this is these two guys sort of bicycling or
Yeah,
jumping up
isn't
and
that
down on it,
so
yeah.
creative? The character
Yeah.
designs. Yeah.
totally
Yeah.
is. Yeah, I have several notes that pretty much relate to all the characters and whatnot. But one other thing that I really liked about the movie was that you learned about what wishing can do and to be careful when you wish for things.
Oh.
And I
Like-
know I'm saying that kind of kiddingly, but growing up, I remember actually in high school wanting to be careful to not wish, like if someone was mean to me at school, wishing that they had died or something, because I know that if that did happen, I'd feel just so guilty and so upset by that. So I was actually pretty careful not to wish for these horrible things.
Be careful what you wish for.
Yeah, totally.
Just might come true.
Exactly.
Darn it. I want them all to come true.
Just might.
Paul, did you have any other things that you really liked about the movie before rewatching?
Before watching it,
Mm-hmm.
none that really came to mind. It had been a while since I seen it.
Okay.
So those were the things.
Well, how about things that after rewatching it, you were like fell in love with again, or just like really stood out to you as things you liked?
Yeah. Oh, the designs of the goblins, the puppetry, the
Yes.
details was absolutely incredible. The set designs to go with it, how the characters moved, it was really. And David Bowie does have a good voice.
You know, I'm totally gonna sidetrack us again, but just on the whole notion of the music. First, I want to say yes, I agree that he has a good voice. Kellen, where do you fall on David Bowie's voice?
No.
You don't care
Not a
for it?
fan. No.
Like singing
okay,
and
no, I have to-
speaking,
I have-
or both, or
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, you're right. He's got a good speaking voice. It works
Okay.
pretty well. I'm not a fan of his music. I'll say.
okay.
That's what I meant by he has a good voice.
Okay.
He's speaking.
You're not a huge Bowie fan or anything.
No.
Let me go ahead and use this opportunity to say I posted on Facebook. If you'd seen Labyrinth, let us know any thoughts or things you remember of it. Remember of the movie, yeah. And we got one person, Valerie, which I'll go ahead and say is Paul's wife. So thank you so much for posting, Valerie. She said, if I can find it, where did it go? Darn it.
Facebook is hard.
It is hard. Come on. Notifications. It should be
commenting.
right there.
Just go to your comment or your post you made.
Oh, yeah, I guess I could do that.
They're all right there.
Easier said than done.
I'm gonna beat him to it on my phone.
I would not doubt it. All right. Oh, so Valerie said, this just in. Today, Emma also posted about this. So I'll go ahead and read both theirs. Valerie said Labyrinth was a creative fantasy movie. She loved it as a kid, not so much as an adult, and the music is incredibly cheesy. And I will totally second that. All of David Bowie's songs, I think, were incredibly cheesy. I did, though, like the score, the sort of background score. I thought it was actually very well, very fit the movie very well.
Yeah, well suited.
Yeah. What were
I'm
you
gonna
guys'
have to
thoughts?
disagree with you on that one.
Okay.
Sorry for cutting
No.
you off there.
That's fine.
I didn't like any of David Bowie's songs except one song. I did like the Magic Baby, Magic Dance song. But I thought even the background, the score, I didn't really notice it except for like when they're walking through the labyrinth and it's like this totally 80s music. Sounds like Teen Wolf music. Now, if you ever remember the movie Teen Wolf, the music in that is not very memorable because it's just
Surfing USA.
not that song, but
Good
just
call.
the normal, typical background music.
Yeah, I don't remember any of that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So, and as they're walking through the labyrinth, I was like, this reminds me of Teen Wolf. Just the. Anyway,
it actually at the very first part where she's running and doesn't seem to be going anywhere, just down this long path. It, for whatever reason, the music reminded me of Terminator, the original.
Okay.
But I liked it.
All
But
right.
let's. And I do want to read from Emma. She said that.
Well, what about Kellen?
Hold on, I just want to finish our Facebook
No,
post.
wait, I thought we were talking about music. Did she talk about music?
No.
Posed the question to both of us. I stole it. Let's give our guest a chance to answer.
Kellen, what say you about the music?
Yeah, so actually, we jumped ahead a little bit here because one of the things I remembered not liking was David Bowie's music parts. Like as a kid, I just wanted to get through it because the songs are super cheesy and annoying.
Now, I wonder if you're a David Bowie fan, because I don't think any of the three of us are, if they would actually like this or not. So that would be a good question.
Yeah. So, yeah, not a Bowie fan and didn't like the music. But I'll agree, the score I thought was all right. It was, yeah.
I stand mostly alone on that, but that's fine. All right, now I would like to read Emma's feedback, which she just said, I honestly can't remember much except Bowie's outfits.
Oh,
and
goodness.
those were pretty extravagant.
Oh, extravagant's not the word.
They're fabulous.
That works.
And but she said she'll have to watch it again. So hope you do watch again, Emma, and will leave us some feedback, which she actually, in our feedback section, she left us a few comments on past episodes. So we will talk about those later. But back to Labyrinth and things that we remembered liking after watching the movie or just re-falling in love with. Kellen, what are some things that are like that for you?
I had somehow forgotten Ludo.
You know, I had too.
Yeah, even though he's awesome, and I love how he like calls the rocks. I thought that was super cool.
Yeah, and that's something that when I'm watching it again, and I don't think I ever realized this back when I've watched it before, that when Sarah is rescuing Ludo, that the rocks are coming to her because he's essentially calling them. I never connected that before. I thought they just were magic rocks or something.
Well, it is the labyrinth, so
Yeah, exactly.
Things aren't always as they seem.
Did you like Ludo, Paul?
Are you kidding me? He was my favorite character out of the whole movie. Yeah.
You know what? But the only thing that it kept occurring to me, I really love Ludo. I thought he was awesome. But the thing that he kept sounding like a bad Arnold Schwarzenegger impression. Sarah, I will be right back.
get to the chopper.
Get to the chopper. This place stinks.
Sarah Connor.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's
Sarah Connor.
Friend. I never made the connection before. That's funny.
I had before either, but watching it this time. But yeah, Ludo was great. And like I'll probably say this many times, but the eyes and him and Hoggle and even Didymus, they just sold it for me. They look so real and so much life in them.
Oh, I thought maybe you were talking about that plant and it turns, watches her as she moves, and all the eyes look at her as she goes by.
Yeah, the eye plant was creepy. Do you
I
not
guess
remember
I
the eye?
missed that part.
It's right at the beginning.
It's with the worm, that worm in the wall.
Okay.
Yeah. In that scene.
I was just looking out for that worm because I knew he was coming.
What is that?
We'll get to that in a
Okay.
minute. Let's see something. Well, Paul, anything else? I keep stealing it from you guys, but I do that.
What was the question?
Things that you liked after watching it again.
Just blown away by the creative process, the creativeness of it all.
Mm-hmm. Very cool. I'm just gonna. Kellen, did you have any others?
The only other one was the humor this time around. I noticed that a lot of it seemed very Monty Python-esque to me.
Oh, really?
Oh, I wonder why.
So I did, yeah, Paul knows,
Why?
but I didn't know until just now when I was looking at the Wikipedia thing beforehand. But the initial draft of the script was done by Terry Jones, who's one of the original Monty Python guys.
Oh, really?
Right.
And
Interesting.
yeah, so like the big rock heads when they're saying "Don't go wrong way," and the last one like argues with them.
I love that part.
Yeah,
actually,
and
yeah.
that's 100% Monty Python.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
And so I saw that and I was like, man, they just ripped this straight from Monty Python. And then I read the Wikipedia and was like, oh, I guess it's okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm not a huge Monty Python fan, but I did love a lot of the comedic elements of this movie. So maybe it's just I haven't
We'll
watched
reintroduce you. Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Next up on RRP, search for the Holy Grail or whatever it's called.
Yes.
Just kidding.
Oh.
I want to run down try to run down quickly some of the other things I liked. I thought Hoggle's makeup, I was blown away by it. I could have sworn he was just a real person that looked like that. I mean, oh,
that's terrifying.
Mentally, I knew it wasn't because no one's bone structure is quite like that. But it just sold it for me. He might as well have been real, and all the animatronics and doing his eyes and mouth and everything. I forgot about the variety of characters, but it was awesome to just keep seeing these new characters and just little throwaway characters too, like the guys that push up the tiles and then spin them around when she's drawing the arrows on them.
I loved that. That cracked me up.
Or the doors with that she has to take the thing out of his mouth to be able to get through. Just all those things.
The characters in this movie are it's amazing for a typical movie, especially like an epic movie where you go through and have these as many different scenes as this movie did, and the amount of characters I think they delivered very well.
Oh, absolutely.
It's approximately $25 million worth of characters, I'd say.
Well, and one of those characters is David Bowie.
He's probably 12 billion alone.
Yeah, probably. I love the little, and sort of along the same lines as all the characters, I love the little throwaway touches that this movie had. Like when they're in the oubliette, which I'm not really sure why it's called that or what that really means, but when they're in that place and Hoggle is helping her get out, he lifts up this board thing that becomes a door, and he opens it one way, and all this junk falls out because it's just a closet. But then he opens it the other way in the same shot, and it's outdoors. And just the sort of the magic of that. That's a wall, then it's one way, then it's another.
Yeah.
I just love little touches like that don't really signify much, but they're just there, and it very much increases the overall depth of the world, I think.
And believability. Yeah.
Yep. In fact, that scene, I paused during that one and told Katie, "This is so cool!" Like they did that.
Yeah, absolutely.
The
So
other
who's
one,
Katie.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, Katie's my wife.
Okay. So I thought maybe it was like a little chihuahua. Look at this. This is so cool.
Because I have a chihuahua that
I
I watch
don't know.
movies with. Thanks, Paul.
Sure.
No, but the other scene that was very similar to that like blew my mind was when she's kind of running endlessly down the hall, and they say you have to look at it a different way, and you realize it's just that optical illusion.
Yeah.
And there are a lot of those that they do. Yeah,
That
all over the
blew
place.
my mind as a kid.
Yeah, me
Oh,
too.
yeah.
I was
Oh,
like,
yeah.
"Oh,
As an
that's-
adult, I know all I have to do is look down and see where the walls end and begin. But
Right.
but as a kid, how did they do that? You
Yeah,
know?
it was magic.
Another how they do that for me was the MC Escher maze thing at the end, where especially when all three characters, the baby, Toby, Sarah, and Jareth, Dave Bowie's character, when they're all in what I'd call different gravity wells,
Right.
how it looks very seamless.
Yeah.
And I know if you really looked, you could probably see the seams of certain steps. That's one shot, certain steps are the other. But I thought they composited so well.
What I was amazed is I thought, that was all composite. I thought it was all compositive. But when seeing the behind the scenes, they built that set, that MC Escher, with
Wow.
everything like moving in all the upside down and left, right. That was a set.
Wow, that's amazing.
Yeah. So people check out the behind the scenes.
Why isn't that in Universal Studios? Go plant
Yeah.
that thing. That'd be
People
awesome.
hurt themselves.
Well, they've got a similar one in the Hogwarts thing there, don't they?
I don't know. I haven't been since they put that in.
I haven't either, but I think they do.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm going to that one set. It's not open here in the Universal Studios in Hollywood yet. So
Oh, that's a Florida thing.
yeah, but it's coming.
Well, who wants to go to Florida?
Yeah.
I mean, Florida listeners, we love you.
Yeah.
I know there's a lot of people who do. I do. Things are bigger there. Have you been to Disney World?
I have never been. I've heard it's great though.
It's huge.
It is massive.
Yeah. All of Disneyland can fit inside of Disney World's parking lot. That's how big it is.
Okay. Well, cool. You know what? I always hated parking at Disneyland. I'm sure they have the shuttle, but you're so far away, and I just hated that. And then at the end of the day, you like have to wait for the shuttle to get back to your car. And so I'm sure it's even worse at Disney World. Speaking of things we hate, though, I'm curious.
Segue.
I'm curious, what types of things do we remember before watching this movie hating, just absolutely hating or disliking about this movie? Paul, I'm going to throw it to you first.
Okay. The things that I hate. Is that the scene with those red skinny guys that are jumping around? As a kid, even then, it seemed out of place and kind of like a different tone for the rest of the movie. And they were picking on her, and it's like I just didn't like it. Throw it away. Get rid of it. I didn't like those characters very much. I thought it was creative, but not for this movie.
I completely agree. Yeah, I didn't remember them, but after rewatching it, oh my gosh, I was like, oh, I remember hating these guys. Yeah. How about you, Kellen? Did you remember disliking those guys?
I had kind of forgotten them, and when I watched it, I remembered that I didn't like them. Okay. And an interesting note about them: the head puppeteer, the person who did all that, is Elmo, the guy who does Elmo. Yeah, so if you were to go back and watch it now, knowing that one of their voices just sounds like an angry Elmo, and it's really terrifying. And I really want somebody, I guarantee it's on YouTube somewhere, to take those voices and put it to like an actual Elmo puppet, because that would traumatize children.
One other thing that I hated as a kid was the way to defeat David Bowie seemed way too anticlimactic.
Yeah.
Oh, I am going to get there, my friend. Okay.
So for me, I mean, you have this big epic journey, and then all she has to say is you have no power over me, and that's it. That's a letdown. So that's all I have to say on that. You can take it from there.
Okay, cool. Thank you. Apparently we're being a little loud because my 1-year-old is waking up.
Oh, is that the babe with the power?
What power?
The power of voodoo. You do. Remind me of the babe. Hey, wake up, dancing baby. Come on.
Yeah, you're the dancing baby. You're supposed to have the power.
Yeah.
All right. Hopefully she'll get back to sleep. But let's go ahead and a little bit more quietly talk about things we hate. Well, Paul, you can be as loud as you want. Paul. But Kellen, how about you? Is there anything you hated or disliked vehemently about The Labyrinth?
All right. So we talked about the songs, and I think that was really it, because I remember just loving it, except the songs.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. No, I think that was it.
And how were they still, you still vehement, I keep using that word. You still dislike them even rewatching
it? That definitely held up in its terribleness.
Yeah, for me, one of the things I remember hating was that the caterpillar, or the worm, actually, it turns out to be, told her essentially the wrong way to go. Like, if he had just said, go this way. But
isn't that worm creepy? I always thought it was like, and then I thought it was a girl, and then it said, come meet the missus, and I'm like, it's a guy. Oh.
I thought it was creepy that he was inviting her in, like, almost like, yeah, come on in. I won't hack you to pieces.
Oh, that's weird.
How long would that worm take to hack her to pieces?
Maybe punch her forever.
A little meat cleaver.
And sorry, that was very
morbid,
macabre,
terrifying.
But I see what you're saying on the creepy factor. But
so we agree that worm was creepy.
No, actually, well, rewatching it, I didn't think he was that creepy, and it didn't actually rewatching it. It didn't bother me that he told her the wrong way, which we'll get into in a little bit. Uh,
All these things to look forward to.
yeah, exactly. Any other things that you hated, Paul,
No,
before
not me.
rewatching?
Just on the music, commenting on the music, I didn't hate it. I didn't like it, but I didn't hate it as much as the other two things I mentioned.
Okay. And Kellen, you said there was nothing else, so
Yeah.
I'll just go real quick. I don't remember liking the baby dance. Speaking of babies, and I don't remember liking that Hoggle betrayed them.
Oh yeah.
And then I always thought it was weird that Jareth was this human-esque goblin. Like, why is he
Yeah.
the Goblin King?
Because he's human.
No.
He can rule over them.
We have
like
all
all the
seen
goblins.
Hobbit. We know what Goblin Kings are supposed to look like.
Oh, I
Big
did.
goiter, right?
Don't
here.
describe it.
For movie genre. Maybe this was written by Tolkien. No.
J.K. Tolkien.
J.K. Tolkien. The prankster Tolkien.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's go ahead and move into those things that rewatching it we despised, and I'd like to kick us off. I was okay. So watching this movie, it starts off again with her in the park doing her little thing, reading the Labyrinth book, and then when she gets home and becomes the most whiny girl ever. Oh my god.
Oh, you have a daughter, right?
Yes.
Wait till she's a teenager.
Well, this sort of factors into it.
Boo.
The way she is with Toby, I mean, my heart was like, because I could tell that was a tired cry. He was just upset because he was tired and just wanted to sleep. And she's like totally like, "Meh, why can't you just go away?" I was just like so upset with her and just wanted her to not get him back at any cost. Like, that's why I was like glad the worm told her to go the other way. I'm like, good, you get that. You deserve that.
So you spent the whole movie rooting
Wow.
against her this time.
Well, it's weird. As the movie progressed, I became less and less upset with her.
Okay.
I don't know why, but it's just I was so upset because it's like it's just a baby. Come on.
yeah, did you not get that she was the stepdaughter?
I did get that.
And
So I
that
realized she
baby-
didn't have that big of a connection probably with him.
Right, and that the baby was getting all the attention and things are now different and she's upset about a lot of different things in her life and that baby represents a lot of those things that she's upset about.
That's a really good point, and I hadn't really given it that much deep thought, and that would make me look at it in a different way rewatching it. But my initial reaction, I was really upset with her for not having more.
Yeah, you work with teenagers, right?
Mm-hmm. Actually,
Girls?
no, I work with middle schoolers now,
Well, yeah, that even more so then.
but mostly the boys. I'm not really. I
Oh.
don't know. I guess I hang out with the girls too, but
Well, typically immaturity breeds selfishness, and a lot of adults don't grow out of that. But anyway,
True.
I don't know what you're talking about.
My show, mine.
These are my notes. All right, so that's nice, Paul. That's one of the things that I didn't like was her reaction to the baby Toby, and I really didn't like her in the beginning of this movie. Rewatching it, I didn't remember having that reaction, but anyways,
As a
let me
concerned
come down
parent,
from that.
that-
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
that makes sense.
Yeah, I think that was a big part of it. And Kellen, I'm curious. You have your daughter's just a few weeks older than mine.
Mhm.
Did you have any similar reaction to that, or was it? It was just a movie, so it's fine.
Well, no, honestly, I had a almost the opposite reaction. Yeah, because there have been times when I've thought, "Why, child, are you crying and not stopping? Because your world is amazing, so shut your face." And
That is
I
awesome.
I hope, at least for our listeners, that that's a somewhat common thing for parents to go through.
I'm sure it is.
And so I was like, yeah, I kind of get her being fed up with this kid, but maybe not giving it to a goblin, but I get being a little upset.
yeah, and yeah, I'm not trying to make out my daughter to be just this perfect child.
As
Since she likes to interrupt the podcast with her coughs, but I think it was I'm certainly at that point where like she sleeps through the night. So those times of where she wasn't, I'm sure I would probably have been more sympathetic
That's true.
if we had watched this 2 months after she was born than a year plus. Let's move on from there, though, to some of the things. Kellen, what's something that you rewatching it you just hated? Or wait, was it just the music? Or
Yeah,
were
well,
there
and
other
then
things?
and then the fire head guys, the whatever. That which is also a song. So
Yeah.
and it's weird because I'll admit it, I normally really like musicals and I love the music in movies.
Totally.
And so it was kind of surprising that I didn't like any of them really. Although you're right, the baby with the power thing is
That
kind
was
of
like
catchy if nothing
stuck
else.
in my head
Yeah.
right after like I was singing that. I'm like, I don't want to be singing this song, but it was there. How about yourself, Paul? What's something that you hated or just really disliked after watching the movie?
It's just the same things that I hated before stayed true that I really didn't like.
Okay. Well,
And David Bowie's acting, I was disappointed in.
really, I thought he was decent. I think
He was decent,
Mhm.
and his voice was so good. But I was hoping for just a little bit more on his deliveries.
Okay, that's fair.
I'll give it to you. It just seemed like they invited David Bowie to set, and he showed up dressed like that because he's David Bowie,
Yeah.
and he was just like, "Yeah, I'm David Bowie. This is what I'm doing."
I'm David.
Yeah, I'm not the Goblin King. I'm just David Bowie, and they had to like dub in the Goblin King stuff later.
Yeah, I'd say he probably made a better Tesla, but
That could,
Well, if they were to animate this and they used his voice, I think the animators could have done more with the character.
Okay, that's fair. I'll go ahead and just continue taking. I feel like I have a lot to say, guys. But,
Okay, go for it.
Piggybacking off Kellen, I agree. I hated those red goblin guys and their annoying dancing, and also that was one of the places where the blue screen for me was most obvious.
Yes.
So I wonder if
Yeah.
that even further tainted that whole scene for me because so much of this is just perfectly crisp.
Yeah.
Of the movie, I mean.
Yeah.
This podcast
I will
is also
say,
very
speaking
crisp.
of blue screen
Very.
special effects, I'm sorry to interrupt your rant
No,
here
please do.
right before you get going, but I thought it was incredible at the beginning of the movie with the owl, the CG.
Yeah, I didn't realize they had CG then. I was like,
I know,
what?
1986. It was like, this is incredible special effects for that time.
Right?
And then the movie continued.
Why didn't they do the whole movie this way?
that was the high point. That was like $10 of the $1 million. So
All right. Yeah. All right. So, and this actually ties into one of the things you had mentioned earlier, Paul, is that you had said at the end you were underwhelmed with how she defeats the Goblin King, right?
The climax of the whole film.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the climax of the whole film. And I felt the same way. I felt like it was really annoying that she just went up to him and she's like trying to remember, oh, what did my book say?
Yeah.
Hold on, Goblin King. Oh, you have no power over me. I thought that was ridiculous.
I like your Ted Theodore Logan impression there. That would have been awesome.
I don't know who that is.
From Bill and Ted.
Bill and Ted.
Oh,
If he, oh, Goblin King.
Goblin King,
You have no
you are
power over me.
excellent. Wow. Totally derail myself. but
Francisco
that's awesome.
Esquire Jr.
Coming back to it, this is how I would have done the movie.
Oh no, you're okay.
I would have had Sarah, Jennifer Connelly's character, realize that was the issue the whole time. Like somewhere maybe around the spog of eternal stench, is that what, or swamp of eternal stench?
Butt swamp.
Yeah, the butt swamp. That she would have realized, you know what, this Goblin King doesn't really have power over me. I just need to get to the end, and I can tell him that, and that will defeat him. And that, so the whole rest of the journey is her just trying to get to him as fast as possible to defeat him. And in the end maze scene, he's like just he's flying away and avoiding her. And she's like, it could be very similar to what happened before, though it's much more of she's driven to find him and to catch him, so that she can just defiantly say, "You have no power over me."
Boom.
Blah.
So
So that's how
so
I
it's the same ending with just more emphasis, more
exactly. It's more proactive as opposed to what do I need to say again?
Yeah, you're totally right. It wasn't like she really, I mean, she kind of had that moment of realization, like, oh, you don't have power over me. But it came across more like, I just have to remember my line.
Exactly.
right.
Yeah,
right.
so it wasn't that he
Yeah.
didn't have power. It's that, oh, that's what I'm supposed to say.
Yeah, and maybe she discovers something like I don't know. She fights some other goblin. Maybe the mech guy that comes out of the wall.
That was cool.
That was totally cool. I love that guy.
Yeah.
And she's able to get past that. She comes to this realization that, you know what, none of the things here have power over me. I have the power in myself, or something like that. I don't know.
Maybe the best, I kind of agree with this. I like your idea. And maybe the best time to do it would be when she's in her fake room with the trash lady.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, because then, because that was kind of her escaping from his power anyway and realizing, no, this isn't reality. And so that could have carried on. And
Absolutely. So
Oh, interesting.
when we reboot Labyrinth, let's do it this way.
I almost guarantee they will.
I think we'll make our money back.
Yeah.
with
Yeah.
that ending.
We'll see if we could do it for under $30 million.
not
$1.
these days.
Oh, I think we
Well,
could.
and now it's-
Bowie's pretty cheap these days.
Yeah, but Jim Henson Company isn't and it won't be as good because Jim isn't there.
It's just Brian.
Yeah.
Though he did a lot of the voices. He did Huggle's
he was
voice.
Huggle, yeah.
Yeah.
Which I thought was cool. And Frank
That's okay.
Oz was in this apparently too, but I'm not sure who he
He
voiced.
puppeteered. I don't know if he did any
Oh,
voices.
Okay.
He did the king. The guy with the bird on his head?
Oh, yeah.
really? Okay.
Yeah, you're
He
right.
walked in and did that guy.
Oh, nice. Okay.
That was,
He
yeah.
walked in.
Well,
Hey,
he did.
guys.
That's
Let
insane.
me voice this guy, Yoda style.
The king came in and walked in,
Oh, that's true. I didn't realize that was the king. It's hard for me to understand.
Or I don't know how to describe him.
Yeah, the guy,
Man
the,
with bird on head.
the sage
Yeah.
with bird.
Sleepy guy.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
I liked him too.
And then she
Alright.
gave him her ring and
or
Hogwarts-
maybe that wise guy, he sort of alludes that she really has the power in himself. So that sort of sets up later on when.
Okay, we don't need to create fan fiction. Come on. I mean, it was nice,
Okay.
but let's not continue.
All right, I'll move on. I'm sorry. Thank you for sticking with me here. The last thing I want to say is that things like the baby dance, Hoggle show. Oh, I guess that is it. The things like Hoggle the baby dance that didn't bother me as much, and the whole betrayal of Hoggle to her, though I think again I was a little more unsympathetic toward her. That made me. I
I
didn't
deserve to be cheated.
Eat the peach, you jerk.
Shove it down her throat.
Hope you choke on the worm.
Wow.
By that point, I was not that against her. It was just in the beginning.
That's good.
I'd want to say after she meets Ludo, she sort of softens for me. But
I hate my infant, but I love this big hairy thing.
Yeah.
oh my goodness. Anyway, so with that, those are okay. So we've covered the things we've loved, the things we've hated. Let's go into a little bit of the things we forgot, just like we plumb forgot, and then and these are kind of more one-off random memories. But watching it again, we're like, oh yeah, that happened. Oh yeah, that happened. Kellen, let's go ahead and start with you for that.
So I will say the giant mech in the door.
I forgot that. Yeah.
I had completely forgotten it. As soon as it came on screen, and honestly, I didn't even remember it.
Oh,
Like when
really?
I saw it, but I saw it and I was like, I should have remembered that because that is something I totally like. And it was really
Absolutely.
cool. So I was surprised I didn't remember it at all.
Yeah, that is
Uh,
something I remembered. But yeah, I'm surprised you didn't remember it at all. Either.
Yeah, I'm kind of
Jeez.
disappointed in my nerdy self.
How about you, Paul?
There were a lot of things that I forgot. Most of the characters in this film I
Yeah.
totally forgot. The only two characters I remembered were Jennifer Connelly and David Bowie in this. Like my favorite character in the whole movie, Ludo, I completely forgot he even existed till I watched it again. But that I also forgot the whole reason why the main character was going through the labyrinth to rescue her
really?
brother from the Goblin King,
Oh,
because I
okay.
totally forgot she even had a baby brother.
That's
So
funny.
yeah, but I'm surprised with the amazing cast of characters that this movie has
Mhm.
that I forgot.
All of them.
Yeah, pretty much. As they're coming on screen, oh yeah, there's the puppet riding the dog.
So did Jim Henson just do the makeup for this movie for Jennifer Connelly and David Bowie? I don't know.
Well, I knew there were more characters, but I didn't remember them specifically.
I got you.
Why don't I see Kermit in this? I don't understand. Some of the things I forgot was I mentioned before. I forgot the hands, which you guys remembered. I'd forgotten about them, but they were awesome, and I should have remembered them. And I forgot that whole scene through the end where they're chased by all the different goblins, which in itself is amazing.
Through the town?
Yeah, through the Goblin City town, sort of the courtyard
the
of
big
the
battle
castle
thing. Yeah.
Yeah. And I just loved how even at the end they so I'm going to compare this to a video game. You get to the end of a video game of probably around that same era, and a lot of the bad guys are just different color variations of the same bad guys you've fought against before. But here it's completely new guys. You got the guys on the little ostriches. You got that gun tank guy.
Yeah.
You got the cannon guys, the little cannon spike dudes that are in of themselves, little guys. Just the variety of that, I thought that was really cool, and I had forgotten all of it. So it was fun to experience that again. Yeah. And then the old woman in that trash scene.
Yeah.
I forgot about her, and I always thought she was very creepy, very reminiscent of the old woman in Princess Bride, who's like,
Yep.
Wrench,
Yeah.
filth, muck,
Oh,
boo,
yeah.
boo,
Boo.
boo.
Just like that.
Yeah, just like that. Those are the things I forgot. Anything else?
Not for me. I forgot the whole movie.
Yeah. The only other one was the whose name I can't remember now. The fox guy. The fox.
Didymus.
Yeah, Didymus.
I'm pretty sure that was his name.
I think
if
that's
I
right.
remember that right.
But yeah, him, and I'm surprised I forgot him because he is cool.
Yeah.
Yeah,
he
he
is.
is.
Yeah. He's very honor bound, which is cool to have in a character. I felt.
Yeah.
Well, and it's ridiculously, I don't know if it's brave at that point or just stupid,
Well,
but
yeah.
it's pretty funny. I liked all those scenes.
Now, before we get to the moment of truth, I'd like us to just talk about one thing from each of us that we think makes this movie, if we were to rate it a classic, what would be the thing that puts it there? So, Kellen, let's start with you.
Puppetry.
The puppetry.
Yeah, just the overall aesthetic of it was awesome and amazing and memorable and gave the whole world life that it would otherwise totally lack.
Totally. Very cool.
Yeah.
How about you, Paul?
The character designs of that puppetry to hop on that back, so intricate and detailed, and a large amount of different characters
Yeah.
that are so creative.
Oh, totally. For me, I mean, you guys, I had two, but you pretty much said the one of the two that I had. So
I had four, but you said let's quickly do one.
All right. If you have another one, pick one other, since I essentially
No, that's fine.
The other thing, and I didn't really mention this at all, though we've talked about the trash scene toward the end of the movie. I really loved this idea, this culmination of. I'm trying to think. It's not really a theme, but when she gets to that trash heap and gets through it, she comes to this realization that all the stuff that she desperately wanted to cling on to is all just stuff.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to end up in a garbage heap someday, whereas the important things are the people around her, like her brother. And I really like that symbolism that I don't know if it came across to me.
No, yeah.
But I just love that.
That's interesting because I thought about it is very similar, but a little bit twisted different. Not that I looked at it as stuff, but these are all things of her past.
Okay.
And the quest for her brother is what she's working on now and her future. In order to go forward, she needs to leave the past behind.
Oh, okay.
That's
yeah,
what
that's
I got
totally
out of it.
another way to look at it. Not necessarily the right way. But
Yeah, I'm afraid I'm gonna have to vote with Francisco. It's
Oh, that's fine.
literally in a junkyard.
Yeah, I agree.
no, I think the way you looked at it is
It's
as,
beautiful.
as valid.
It was poetic.
No,
Yeah.
oh, now you're just humoring me. No, no, no. I won't take your pity party.
Pity laughs. Pity laughs. Kellen, let's just go through the circle again.
Sure.
What's something that if you're going to rate this a second class movie, what puts it there? What's sort of the worst thing about it, essentially?
Yeah, the kind of the overall cheesiness, I guess, but specifically given form in the songs.
Oh yeah.
Just super cheesy, which made them boring.
Mm-hmm.
That was it. All the song scenes I just wanted to fast forward through, which
yeah.
is a terrible sign of any part of any movie.
I felt the same way.
Yeah.
Paul?
More than just the songs for my part, there were many lines and character moments that were cheesy for me.
Yeah.
There were parts that were definitely felt like it was aimed towards kids, and some of those were some of those cheesy areas, and then there were parts that were definitely aimed for adults, like dark overtones and undertones and themes, and oftentimes they tried to blend those different scenes in the same way, so you have the cheesy and the scary, and it just did not work. At least
There's
for
some
me.
dissonance for you there.
Yeah, it's like they try to combine two different genres, and it just it felt cheesy, I guess. I don't know.
Murder on Sesame Street.
Kind of. It's like, who is this really made for? You know,
Right.
people, college students who are getting high. I don't know.
They'd love it anyway.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Thank you for sharing that, Paul.
Sure.
For me, it was actually I want to say the murkiness of Sarah's character arc. And what I mean by that is I don't really get the sense of how she comes to the point of, you know what, I really want to save my baby brother. I mean, in the beginning of the movie, she, as far as I can tell, absolutely hates him, and I don't get why she decides, oh yeah, I do need to go get him. In my mind, she would, the type of character she's portraying herself, Jennifer Connelly is portraying, would be like, yes, thank you. I didn't want him here. Thank you for taking him. And so I don't see how she gets from there to, oh, I need to get him back. And then even from, I need to get him back just so maybe she doesn't get in trouble, to, he's important. And I want to give my bear to him because he's this important and I love him.
I think she realized that at the very end when she gave it to him after everything she's been through.
Right, but
I
he
don't
means-
mean to.
No.
I see what you're saying, but I didn't really get that. I get some of what you're saying. I get all of what you're saying, but I don't. Maybe I just give too much credit.
No, that's completely fair. You can give as much credit as you want. What do you think about that, Colin?
Yeah. So I kind of agree, especially her initial, oh no, running after the baby, the whole.
But haven't you ever done that before, where you're like, oh, I really want to, and then you sit and think about it, like, well, maybe maybe I overreacted.
Yeah,
maybe
but I
don't.
mean, so her initial reaction going after the baby is definitely, it seems to be entirely, my parents are going to kill me, which
Right.
isn't very admirable.
No, but I think it's true to life.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And then I kind of agree with Francisco that obviously at some point in the journey she changed her mind, but it's not really clear why or when.
Yeah.
I think she changed her mind at the end when it was all over and he was back in his crib and he was like, you know what? Maybe it was all worth it.
Okay, I'm all right with that. Yeah.
Again, it was just murky. It wasn't that clear to me. I would have liked it to be
Oh,
just a little
clearer. Okay, that makes sense.
yeah. So that's that. If I had to pick one thing, then that would be it.
All right.
Alrighty. Any last thoughts before we get on to what did we get on to next, Paul?
The podcast, the moment of truth.
The moment of truth. So
Are
any
we going to
last-
start the podcast next?
Yes.
Any
Are
last-
we hit record?
Are we done with our nice conversation, boys?
Any last words before we get to that, Paul?
If I say no, that's a last word. So yes.
Kellen,
Silence.
you and your technicality, Paul.
Yeah. No.
Okay. And none for me. So, Alice, as we get into the Retro Rewind Roundtable review, do you have a targeting solution ready for us?
Firing solution complete. Rating salvo at the ready. On your mark.
Was she speaking English?
Yes.
English.
That's a new bumper I made, essentially.
British English, no.
She said, firing solution complete. Ratings.
Firing solution?
Yeah.
Firing.
Because we're in this big ship, remember?
Okay,
we have
we're in this big
torpedoes.
firing solution. It's
Yeah.
kind of like you're doing your laundry and you're making kind of like a solution.
It
like
is
No.
It is a legit term.
all
I
right,
looked it
firing
up.
solution.
He's
Okay,
right.
all right. Well, for those of us who are uneducated in this, what does that mean?
Essentially, in the Navy. Wow, I can't
Dun,
believe I'm
dun, dun,
digressing into this. In the-
Dun, 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 dun.
Okay, you shouldn't have dragged us into that.
Why, Francisco?
when artillery could go so far, like on battleships and things like that, they found that by the time the artillery shell was at where the other ship was, because of the curvature of the earth and the wind and all these different factors, that they're missing completely. So they had to come up with mechanisms to help them come up with the right place to fire. Essentially, you're firing to where the ship's gonna be as opposed to where it is.
Oh, like worms.
Sure.
Yes.
Okay.
Come in for a spot of tea while I hack you to pieces.
While I shoot artillery at you. The missus has one all lined up. She has a firing solution.
Oh gosh, I can't believe I went there.
Your worm is terrible.
Right. Where this is coming from. I digress in a major way. Anyways, the firing solution is what you would get when you have the firing solution. Then you're ready to actually fire your artillery.
It's
Okay.
literally the solution to the complex calculus problem that is targeting a moving object from miles and miles away.
Exactly.
Okay. So where to fire? She says firing solution because she's firing
is complete
something.
is complete because she's making sure that we've discussed the targeting for our classic or second class ratings. So she says after that, rating salvo at the ready on your mark. So
Salvo, like it's
Yeah.
ratings are salivating. What is
No, salvo is when you fire, for example, multiple shots. That's
Yeah.
a salvo of shots. So all your
Oh,
cannons
so
go
like
off.
in Iron Man when he shoots
Yes.
one missile and it spreads like 12.
Yeah,
That-
kind of.
That's more like
Not
grape
really.
shot if we're going
Yeah.
nautical. But I think we've
Oh,
lost
like a
everything.
shotgun when there's lots of spread instead of just one thug.
No,
Like,
that's
not
also
so
like
much.
grape shot.
Yeah.
Oh.
Think of multiple shots at once.
Multiple cannons out the side of a
Wait,
ship.
at one?
Yes.
Oh, at once.
Yes.
So I have
Yes.
two guns at a.
Yeah.
All
That's
right, and
better.
Okay, they
Now
both
that-
fire at the same time.
And now that everyone not interested in military history has totally like turned
Now,
off.
what
the
does this
podcast,
have to do with our
Skip.
moment of truth?
It's just my just developing this world that we're in this spaceship.
I'm in this box.
Our target is the movie we're discussing, and now we're going to rate it, essentially firing our torpedoes of classic or second class at it. Yeah,
Right, let's
Yeah.
get our torpedoes ready. Load in the classic or second class torpedo.
Okay.
All right.
Let's start with Kellen. How would you rate Labyrinth as a classic or second class?
Man, I had to go first. So,
And feel free to remind us how you rate classic or
right.
second
So
class.
typically, what I like to look at is would I watch it again? If I had a group of friends over, would I insist we sit down and watch it? And also, would I show my daughter when she's old enough to watch it? And the weird thing is, the answer to both is yes, I would, but it's second class.
Oh,
And I just have to admit to myself,
makes no sense.
I know.
The reason why I'm laughing is because I've had similar struggles with what I'm gonna
Yeah.
rate it
So-
myself.
So it passes all my criteria. I think it's the songs. The songs drag it down. Because when I sat and watched it, I would fast forward through those with my friends.
Okay.
Or, go get snack or something. Yeah, exactly. So yeah, second class.
Alrighty. All right, Paul. How about yourself?
All right, my
Classic or second
criteria for a
class?
classic
Yeah.
is that if I had a group of peers over and they'd never seen it, would I say, "Oh, we got to put this on. You've got to see it."
Mhm.
And as much as I like this film and I watch it, it's a good pick. I think it's a good movie. I cannot say to one of my friends that has never seen it, "You should see this. This is a great movie," because it is there. It's just way too cheesy in moments. It as much of an epic adventure as this is with twists and turns, and it has a very creative cast. The cheese factor in it is unfortunately low.
Limburger.
Yeah, unless they were really into puppetry. If you
Okay.
are into puppetry or something like that, then yes, you should see this. But if not, if you have never seen it before, you can go ahead and let this one slide.
Okay. And just in case you guys want to retract those ratings, I do want to remind you that when we did the Return to Oz episode, you both held this up as a movie that you'd say instead of Return to Oz, you would suggest this movie. So
Okay, here's I'd like to point this out because I said this to my wife Valerie.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Because she would watch Return to Oz over this.
Okay.
But I still would rather watch this Labyrinth rather than Return to Oz, even though
Okay.
they're both second class.
Personally, but going back to
Personally.
how you rate classic or second class.
Right.
Okay.
So just because I said I'd rather watch doesn't mean that it's a classic.
All right.
But
John, are you going to retract
Yeah.
your statement?
See, I'm more on the danger zone here because I said Return to Oz was a classic.
Yeah, you did.
And
The only one to
yes,
say that.
though I will say that when I recommended Labyrinth, it was because you guys were hating on Return to Oz. So I'd put them about on par with something I'd want to watch with some friends over.
Okay.
Yeah, and the second class etude is separate.
All right.
If I was with peers that had seen it and they all wanted to see it, I'd be down for it. Yeah.
Okay.
No, but I appreciate you guys sticking to your guns. Second class and second class.
Yeah.
For me,
Wait.
There's more. Can Francisco bring this back from the depths? No, not really, because there's 2 votes, even to 1, if he were to rate it. A
Yeah, but
classic,
at least it would be
disputed.
or
Yeah.
not.
Yes. And I am going to rate it a classic.
Oh,
Oh, wow.
So the way I rate movies classic is first off, are they enjoyable movies, and would I show Sophia them, my daughter Sophia, when she's older? And I would say yes to both of those. I loved, and I wasn't expecting this, but even though I thought it would be a classic, I wasn't expecting to just have all this discovery of new characters, and they totally held my interest. I was able to essentially not dissect, but sort of compartmentalize the music elements into another box and not worry about them, but and just focus on all the interesting characters and that whole world. I thought was really cool to discover, and really was enjoyable for me to watch. So I would definitely watch it again, and I'd love to show it to Sophia. I don't know if Chrissy would agree, because she was pulling for me to rate it a second class.
Well, we know what she thinks.
Yes, but she's not on this episode.
Yeah, Francisco, in your words from a previous episode
yes.
podcast, you said now a classic is essentially something like Goonies or Back to the Future or Star Wars, these classics.
Mm-hmm.
So this, in your mind, it ranks up with them.
nice, Paul.
Of course, that's not your usual criteria for a classic, but you did say that once.
Yes, no, that's true. Yeah, I'd want to say it's, in terms of overall storytelling, it's probably not the best. It doesn't match some of those movies. But if like you guys, you're going with your criteria for classic or second class, that's what I'm going to go with. it
Yeah.
meets that criteria.
And honestly, I've struggled I saw this 2 days ago,
Mhm.
and I've been, especially that first night, I really struggled with it. I was like,
Uh-huh.
oh my gosh, and even this morning, it was like, I don't know what I'm going to do, because like I said, I like this movie.
Yeah.
And
Yep.
I,
That's totally where I've been. Same thing. I do. I love the movie. I'm gonna say I love the movie, but it's second class.
I love the movie, but I'm going to kill it.
Yes. If you love it, let it go.
if it returns.
If it's meant to come back, yeah. No, I really appreciate you guys giving that so much thought. That's really awesome. Alrighty, so with that, the Retro Rewind podcast rates Labyrinth a disputed second-class movie. Unless you are into puppeteering or you really like the types of movies Francisco, likes, you go ahead and just let this one live on in your memories, but no, not worth spending the time rewatching it. And with that, what is next? Alice.
Hey, Francisco, did you see Follow That Bird?
No.
Oh, it's a Sesame Street movie.
Oh,
Is that the one where they go to China?
No.
Is that the one
It's
where
one
they're
where
in
Big
a
Bird's
Cairo
kidnapped.
museum?
No, it's where Big Bird is kidnapped and they
Yeah.
paint him blue.
There's
No.
Bluebird.
I
Yeah,
have not
I haven't
seen
seen
that
that one.
Have you guys
Oh.
seen the ones I'm talking about?
The one
No.
where he gets bird flu in China? No, I haven't seen that.
And SARS.
Is it Big Bird flu?
No, I forget. He just goes to China, and I remember him learning calligraphy. He goes into a class. He befriends some elementary school girl, and they go
So
into a
Big
class.
Bird is
and-
a him?
I always considered Big Bird a him.
I always considered him a she, but I think
Interesting.
it's played by a guy and voiced by a guy, so
there
maybe
you
it is.
Yeah, and in this other one, he goes into a museum, and the ghost of some old Egyptian boy is trying to help him wants Big Bird to help save him or something.
The reason why I asked that is because I saw that Followed That Bird in the movie theater, and I liked it as a kid. I was singing the songs when I got home, and it was like, I love it. And I was like 10 years old. I should know better. Why am I really liking the Sesame Street movie? About 2 years ago, I saw it. Oh, it was such a pain to get through.
Oh.
So anyway, I don't know why. I had a point how this linked up to Labyrinth, but now I
Yeah.
can't remember.
Tales
Anyway.
of True Second Class.
Yeah.
That's also
and Jim
Henson.
Henson. Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, Dark Crystal, huh?
Dark Crystal. Yeah, I'll come back for that one.
Alrighty.
What was that, Alice?
Alice, I think it's time to see what's new these days that might relate to Labyrinth. Go ahead and engage the new tube systems for us.
New tube systems engaged.
Alrighty. Paul, as long as you didn't die.
Oh, there you
Sorry, I rebooted.
Oh, okay. What is new on your tube, and does it relate in any way to Labyrinth?
No, it does not. Not even a single bit, but it does relate to last episode.
Oh, cool.
What is on my new tube is I saw Star Trek Into Darkness, and
What did you think?
that was fun.
Yeah, I
If
agree.
anybody hasn't seen it, you should watch the original Star Trek 2 first, because what I did with Valerie, before I had heard a little bit about this Star Trek, so I was like, okay, Val, before we go and see this movie, went to Wikipedia, said, okay, here's the synopsis for the original Star Trek TV episode that had Khan in it, and here's the synopsis. You read that. This is what the backstory of Star Trek 2 is about. And then we watched the original Star Trek 2. And then the next day we went and saw it in the theater. And she was able to get a lot of things because of that. And it's a fun ride. So if anybody hasn't seen Star Trek Into Darkness yet, I'd recommend going out and watching Star Trek 2. And if you haven't seen any of the original Star Trek movies, like Star Trek 4 or any of those, Star Trek 2 really holds up.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. In my opinion.
I went and saw Into Darkness, not having seen Star Trek 2. I still am only 4 and 6 type of guy. But I probably didn't catch them all, but just because of popular culture and the type of, the culture
holds
space
up.
I'm in.
Yeah.
Well, the culture space I'm in of like just geek culture and sci-fi culture, I got some of the
big
references.
moments,
yeah.
yeah.
the big moments. Like,
Well, and there are some subtle moments too.
Oh,
yeah,
sure.
there are some good ones.
Yeah.
Did you see Into Darkness?
I did. Yep. Katie and I went last weekend and really enjoyed it. Also.
Awesome. Yeah, definitely fun. Definitely, I totally second your recommendation, Paul, to go see it. Are you sure there weren't any puppets or anything?
No, sorry. Well, how does it deal with
The
Labyrinth?
Tribble. That is a puppet.
Yeah.
So
There you go.
Puppets.
I'm pretty sure it was a Henson puppet. Totally.
Yeah.
Except it
Brian.
was CG when it moved, wasn't it? Shoot.
really,
No.
I
Yeah, it
thought
totally was.
Oh, I thought it looked mechanical. Like it was just. I mean, I
Yeah,
don't know,
that's what I thought. Oh well.
I'd have to
Doesn't
watch it
matter.
again.
There were too many lens flares in the way. No, I'm
Yeah.
sorry, JJ.
Oh, Abrams.
Well, you use those Super 8 cameras. That's what you get. Kellen, what's new on your tube?
Oh,
And does it relate to Labyrinth?
so yeah, I was thinking of using Star Trek 2,
Oh,
which doesn't
well, you
relate.
could do that.
Nope, I'm not gonna. No,
You're
I
gonna
can't
use Star
copy.
Trek 2?
Oh, Star Trek 2. That'd be good. No, I didn't rewatch it recently. I've seen it.
Oh, then let me do that. Mine is on Star Trek 2, and I would rate it as a classic. So that's what my new tube is. Oh, so you watched Star Trek: The Darkness, Kellen, huh?
I feel like we've entered a time rift here.
One where there's 13 hours in a day.
Yes. Only like 4 of them suddenly just disappear because Bowie's a jerk.
Yeah, what was that about?
Yeah, come on.
Yeah.
I guess okay. I got one that is related, although it's not like a new on my tube, and it's
That's fine.
so, David Bowie released a new album. Yes,
He's
just
still making music?
now he is. He hadn't in a long time, and I was like, "That's crazy that he's back." So I better go listen to that. So I went and listened to some of the tracks off it, and like I said, I wasn't a Bowie fan to begin with, but oh my goodness, it was terrible.
Oh,
He sounded like a really old dude trying to sing to me, and it was really, really bad. So I would recommend you not put that on your tube.
okay.
Keep that off your tube.
Come here.
Would you say
Mary
he's still...
had a little lamb.
Is it David Bowie does Mary Poppins?
Mary.
Mother Goose? That's what I was thinking of.
Yes, that's what it was. They always do the classics when they get old, so he went super classics.
Would you say he's still good at judging male models down the catwalk, though?
Oh, it's a walk-off.
Does he do that? No, I know. Oh yeah, Zoolander. Good call.
I was gonna say, really? You haven't
Yeah,
seen
no, I
Zoolander
totally
yet?
forgot he was the judge.
Okay.
I bet he could still do that. Yeah.
Okay. All right.
But you have to have Billy Zane to compete against.
No.
No, it wasn't him.
Owen Wilson.
No. Oh, it was Owen Wilson and
Wilson?
what's his name? But his friend
Oh.
Billy Zane was there. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
He was one of the coaches
Put a
in the
cork in
corner.
it, Zane. What's new on my tube? Thanks for asking, Paul.
You read my mind.
Is not Zoolander, but it is same as last week. This new game that's coming out that's being kickstarted called Pixel Press.
Oh, it's an old tube.
Oh my gosh. But how it relates to Labyrinth is I'm probably not going to get it done in time for this level competition that they're doing, but I'm going to make it each level in sort of like a maze. Very similar to how if you took graph paper as a kid and made mazes with that. I'm going to do it, though. It's going to be a little different since it's a 2D platformer, but I'm going to make a maze out of each level. So that's my idea for the game.
That's
You
cool.
know what that is?
What?
Amazing.
Oh, my God.
How do we make it this far in without using that? And you just ruined it, you horrible troll.
That's awesome. And just to recap for people that maybe didn't listen last week, Pixel Press is this Kickstarter project that you take a piece of graph paper, and if you're watching the video, I'm sure I'm showing this a video of it right now. But you take the specialized graph paper and look that way, Paul. There you go. And you take the specialized graph paper and you draw out 5 levels, like with platforms and traps, and essentially you will take a picture of this with your iOS device, and it creates an actual game level that you can play. Yes, just like that. And you can design it with pre-built sprite sheets, like it's going to come with like a ninja theme, I think, and or you can upload your own sprites and music and make it really your own game, and then you can share it with friends. And I'm just really jazzed about this game coming out. So the Kickstarter is going on right now. There's, I think, 20 or so days left, and they're 30% or so funded. And I was telling you, I think Kellen and I will go for a run every so often, though I've totally slacked these last couple weeks.
It's been
I'm
raining.
sorry. Yeah. But I was telling Kellen about this, and he's like, is it for Android? I'm like, well, that's one of their stretch goals. So definitely support. Turns out, I just got word, since I am a backer of this, that... Sorry, Paul is totally distracting me with what he's doing.
I'm trying to figure out how is this working because my face is covering, yet it's showing through the iPhone.
That's pretty impressive.
How is this working?
It's like
I'm listening.
A wall of mirrors or something. Anyway, Paul on the wall is Pixel Press, the awesomest of them all.
Yes?
Yes.
Oh, it's
I
because the
digress.
camera's facing this way.
Turns out, back to Pixel Press, they lowered that. So now if they hit their goal, they will release for Android as well.
Oh,
it will just
good.
be delayed by a few months. But they hit one of their lowered stretch goals, it'll release at the same time. So definitely, Kellen, I suggest going out, support this.
Yeah, so we
Kickstarter.
can get enemies on there to jump on Goombas and stuff.
I think that may be
That's one of the stretch goals. Yeah.
Oh, did you go and look at Paul?
Yeah, of course.
Awesome. Oh, well.
Everyone should and support it.
Yeah, totally.
Because I don't know if it's going to get made at this rate.
It will. It will.
We
will get
okay.
it made. Yeah.
All right.
I actually upped my goal so I get a cool poster. Or up my backing, I should say.
All right, everyone. We need this made. So go ahead and donate $1.
Yes.
Do it, or Francisco won't get his poster.
Yeah. You want me to have a poster, don't you?
Yeah, and you want the maze to be made because it's amazing.
Sigh.
I'm all ears. Follow that. Well, think about that.
That'd be a weird creature.
All right. So I recommend Pixel Press, and you can find that at pixelpressgame.com. Next up, we have something very special.
Oh, it's adorable.
So we're going to try out a new segment called the Retro Rewind Podcast Postulate. And what this is
when you've been sitting down too long.
What?
That's posterior.
Oh, okay.
I was thinking prostate, but okay.
Okay.
So what this is we are going to pit protagonists from past podcast episodes against one another. Darn it, not going to get my dollar.
Wait, can you say it clearly then?
Yes. We are going to pit past protagonists from podcast episodes against one another in a fight to the death. Well, not really. Essentially, we are going to come up with just hypothetical scenarios that takes a character from one movie that we've covered in the past and another character from another movie that we've covered, and essentially Paul and I are going to debate which character we think would prevail in wherever the situation is. And whoever is guest hosting with us, which in this time is going to be Kellen, he is going to serve as referee and judge, and he will tell me or Paul who sways him as to whose character wins the bout. With that, Kellen, will you please read this episode's scenario?
I will, and this is me reading it,
Or
seeing it.
postulate.
Postulate, yes. So this is me seeing this for the very first time, so I didn't have any time to think about this beforehand, so I'm a completely neutral judge.
Though Paul and I have read it before, and we know which characters we're going to be going with.
So you've gotten to prepare your arguments?
Yes.
Okay, good.
Well, if you call what I've done preparation.
I never do.
Okay, good.
You find yourself the sole survivor of a biological disaster that's killed everyone in your country. You don't know if there are any other human beings, but witnessing the disaster on their sensors, Max from Flight of the Navigator and Kilowatt from Batteries Not Included come to your aid. As it turns out, though, their respective planets are opposed to one another, so they won't both help. Which would you choose as the better sidekick as you work to establish what happened to your country and if anything could be done about it? Go.
Shoot.
Oh, wait, I guess I have to pick who goes. Let's see. We'll start with.
Wait. Can you reread that last sentence? Because I kind of picked one before. Okay.
I will reread it and you'll see if you're screwed. Yes.
Yeah.
So, which would you choose as the better sidekick as you work to establish what happened to your country and if anything could be done about it?
Oh, I didn't know that was the end goal.
I'm going to give you
Do
a
you
break
still-
then, and I'm going to start with Francisco, and you can think about what you've done.
Well, I'm willing to, if you would like to change, Paul. I think I could.
No, it's just, it's,
You were going for more of a survival thing than a, or what?
yeah, more of a, now I have to play detective and try to figure out what happened. I thought it was like, okay, everyone's gone. Who do you go with? Okay.
Well, you could do it either way. Hey, all you got to do is convince me.
Yeah, you just have to convince Kellen. So,
All right.
all right,
I'm still gonna. We're gonna start with Francisco.
all right. And
Yeah, he
I
picked the wrong one anyway, so it's all right.
Let me hear it.
and I picked Max to go with from Flight of the Navigator.
Hmm.
All right, so I'm going to start off with the fact that Max is a drone ship from he's a Trimaxian drone ship computer, and he comes from the planet Phalon, I believe. But his whole mission is to go to other planets and bring back samples of their life form for the Phalons. I'm probably getting that name wrong. I'm sorry.
To study.
Flight of the Navigator.
You're
aficionados.
losing points.
Darn it. Comes back to
Sorry.
study those specimens. So he would have this amazing bank of biological data to draw from to figure out what might have happened, especially if we're in this universe where there are alien races. It's very likely that an alien virus or bacteria of some kind wiped out all the human beings in your country. And he would also be the one to help you determine why you survived it. So that's why I would pick Max.
Okay.
One of the reasons. That's my first reason.
That's the first. All right, Paul.
I picked Kilowatt because he could help rebuild the country, and it's not the entire Earth. So there's
Nope.
tons of other countries around the Earth to visit and to meet with people. And if you go off, I assume that all Max will do is just take you away, either take you away or drop you off, and he'll make jokes. And and I don't see what that has to do with, like, I think there's so much more stuff to do here on Earth and to find out from other people what's going on.
So Paul's gone on the offensive a little bit. Francisco, what you got?
That's fine, Paul. You know what? But here's the thing: while you're stuck with Kilowatt, trying to get to, I don't know, not Hawaii. That's
Look,
part of the
he
country.
could build me a little, like,
Listen, hey,
fired
you
to
had your
get
chance,
the
sir.
round.
Let me go. It's my turn. See,
Alright.
the main window is me right now, so it's me.
How do I change that?
While you're hanging out with Kilowatt, trying to get to England or Germany or some country that has life on it, you're stuck trying to communicate with something that can't talk back to you. So your morale is slowly deteriorating because
Not mine. Maybe yours, but not mine. Sorry, I'll let you go. I have
because
to keep notes of all these
Now-
things.
now
It's like
Paul's
an
losing
official
points.
debate.
because
Jeez. I don't have a pen and paper. I'm ill prepared.
most likely your morale will deteriorate because you have no one to keep a good humor about because you don't really know if the other countries are affected or not. You're hoping they aren't.
No,
but-
but the general proposal said this was the only country that
But
was
you
wiped
wouldn't know
out.
that initially.
Yeah, you wouldn't know that initially. You would probably discover that. But with
What
Max,
said that?
I'd have someone to communicate with, and sure, he may not. We wouldn't jive necessarily right off the bat, but once he scans me, because I'm saying like, dude, you came to help me find out why I survived all this. He'd like meld his mind with mine, and then we'd be like on the same page, and he'd be like, and joking with me, and that'd keep my morale up.
He didn't come to help you. He came to collect you. Now, Kilowatt came to help.
Continue, Paul.
Because he could build, and I can go on the investigation. I have a keen enough mind to go and talk to other people to help figure out what happened, and Kilowatt just enables me to do that.
However, you know what? Kilowatt needs power, and if
He
everyone
can find power from anywhere.
if everyone has died, all the plants and all the facilities that create power are gone. So how is he going to get that power from?
Negative. You can go to an abandoned house and it'll still have electricity sometimes.
Really?
Sometimes.
Yes. So throughout the whole country, there's no power whatsoever.
Well, I mean, I don't know.
Well,
That's
okay.
my
Where
assumption.
am I in the country? Am I like on the Canadian border? Like I could just step. Is that why I the
Just
survivor?
walked into Canada. That was easy.
Yeah, because I just happened to walk in and be the last survivor of the United States.
All right, as the judge, I say you're in the middle of Colorado.
Okay.
All right. Middle of Colorado.
And
Thank you, ref judge.
Yes. Ref
okay,
judge.
that's near the river, so there's got to be electro power.
Yeah, but they
hydro
wouldn't
power.
be running still.
Yeah, they would.
Well,
as long as-
hydroelectric would probably still be going unless somebody shut it off.
Sure.
Yeah.
No, the turbines would still be spinning,
Yeah,
but I don't
so you
see
get power
how
from there.
how the plant would still be functioning. I would think people have to monitor. I mean, they're not just autonomous.
Well, okay. There's enough. There's
I will
enough
concede
power available in the U.S. because this is probably disease, not like nuclear where it obliterates buildings. So there would be things still left on.
All right, and you know what? Thinking, I know this is sort of a concession on my part, but Kilowatt being from a superior robotic race would probably be able to tap into those turbine powers somehow
Well, of
and draw
course.
power. All right.
Cough batteries. Cough. Even though they're not included, they probably still exist.
All right.
All right. Good point, referee. I'll secede that. However, how are you going to discover what happened? With Max, he can take you
Video
back
footage.
in time. Video footage.
There's the internet.
No, okay.
Somebody
the internet's going
somewhere-
to be down.
Yeah,
You
the
can't-
internet's down.
No. No. The internet's bigger than the United States.
Sure, but how are you going to access it?
Same way everybody does. I got a phone, a smartphone.
Oh, no. Cell towers are going to be down. I'm sorry.
No, that's how everyone in the United States died.
They got
All
bored.
the satellites and the cell towers fell on everybody.
It's
Wait,
a,
okay,
it's a biological disaster.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to
Paul.
read this again. It says you are the sole survivor of a biological disaster. So the odds of a biological disaster taking out technology are slim.
But the thing is, if people aren't there to man it and run it, I
are.
think it's going to be
It's
gone.
not just in the United States. This is there's people available everywhere else. Is okay.
Well, how often do you see somebody like cranking up the internet every morning?
Yeah,
I understand that, but let's say you have a laptop with some battery power in it,
Mhm.
and you find, what are you going to plug that into? The Ethernet, if you have a router, the router's not going to work, and how are you going to get internet? Wi-Fi cafes are not going to be up.
No, I have it through the
Yes,
phone.
your phone, but your phone, the data signal goes through cell towers that are need to be electrified to run, and then those go up to the satellites and back down and all that. Sure, if you
I
get
can
to get the
find
cell,
information.
So I guess so as the judge, I'll step in here
Okay.
and say that your key difference is whether or not any of the power grid is still functioning at this point.
all right. So
You can agree to disagree on that, because I don't know. It seems like in the immediate aftermath, things are still going to work for a while until things deteriorate on
that's
their own.
true. Yeah.
So Paul could initially do a Google search, and then he's
Or look at CNN or .com or whatever to find out what's been going on.
All right. Okay, so you could do that for a little while, and you may get
Yes.
you may get some idea of what happened.
Yes.
But with Max, you could go back in time as much as you needed to, and really drill down to what exactly happened, and possibly even prevent it.
Now, why would Max stay and continue going back in time when he had those other specimens defined? He's a drone. He has orders. He doesn't have time to keep going back in time. Marty, we got to go back to 1955, November 5th. That's where it all started.
Francisco?
Here's the thing: he is a drone,
Right.
But as we saw in Flight of the Navigator, once he scanned
The kid.
the kid, I feel like I shouldn't remember his name. I'm sorry.
Nope.
Once he scanned the kid, they were of the same mind essentially. His personality got implanted into Max, and Max was very sympathetic to him, and they were the best of friends.
For a limited time.
Well, until Max wanted to still get back to his mission. But here's the thing: he came, like our scenario says, that they came because they noticed this great distress. I believe it's word something like that, Kellen, on Earth. So whether the Phelan sent him or he decided to go rogue for a little bit, he's still there to help you.
Oh,
And
I
so-
thought he was there to collect specimen because that's what drones do.
No, will you read?
Nope. Yeah, in fact, it says witnessing the disaster on their sensors, they come to your aid.
Yeah.
They're there to help.
Oh, they come to our aid. So I assumed, that Max was there because you can't survive very long on your own without food and water and gathering all that information. I mean, after a while, the Twinkies do go bad. So he would collect you and bring you to another planet for you to explore.
Well, and I will say that your aid could be very different things. It doesn't necessarily
Right.
mean doing whatever you think is right.
Right.
That's true.
So it could be either way.
Yeah,
Right.
I'm not going to stand here and say that Max isn't going to just take me off to Phelan to live forever. But I would like to think that he's going to help me. He's going to stick around and help me figure out what happened to my own people. Because if I'm the last one, then I mean,
You're patient zero.
I would think. Yeah, I mean, I guess if other countries may not be affected, then I wouldn't be the last one. But
On Earth.
The last
But-
American species.
Yeah. Oh, no, that actually validates my point. Since I'm not the last one, it's not like he's going to be like, Max isn't going to be like, you know what, we should really take you back to Phelan to make sure you survive anything else, because here you're not going to survive. Because Max can probably read that there are other people on the face of the earth. He's like, you know what, I think I'll just help you figure out what happened here.
Yeah, you started a biological disaster. You are patient zero. Everyone else will die by the time, it spreads everywhere. So you're basically the last of your kind.
Human
Right?
pestilence.
I mean, I guess.
Okay,
We don't really
then.
say.
He takes you away.
To
By
save
the
the rest.
way, we figured out what happened just by reading the synopsis.
Victory by derailment.
I
Ding ding.
Shut-
Tap out.
I believe I will move us on to closing arguments.
all right. Yeah.
Okay. So, being the judge and the jury, I'm going to set
And the-
this up in a very arbitrary way because it sounds fun. I'm going to give each of you 30 seconds to summarize why you've made the right choice. So this time we will start with Paul. You have 30 seconds. Let me pull up the clock.
Yeah, sorry, that clock secondhand doesn't work.
Yes, I noticed. 30 seconds is going a long time. All right.
Did we start?
No.
No, I'll tell you when we start. Okay,
We're
ready?
really gonna do this. Okay.
Ready? Go.
Okay. Kilowatts, the whole essential of kilowatt is to rebuild. And with rebuild, we can advance. That's all I need. That's
Ooh.
all you need.
He
We
stopped
just need to rebuild.
He stopped at 13 seconds. I think I should only give Francisco 13 seconds.
No, you can give him the whole 30 seconds.
You're feeling confident, Paul. All right, Francisco. Ready?
I just want to be fair.
Okay, Max has all the data you'd probably ever need to figure out not only how I survived this, but how to find an antibody or some way to overcome this disease that wiped out humanity. And because of that, he is essential to figuring out how to keep this from ever happening or spreading to any other countries in the world.
And I can't say anything to rebut.
Nope,
right?
you're done.
All right,
You've had
all
your
right.
whole discussion.
All right, just
And I'm done.
Yes. That was 25 seconds, so you timed it well. So,
it's like Angry Birds. Boom.
as he dodges his rage face. The rage face is very convincing, I have to say. Challenge accepted. Oh, no, he's so pleased.
All right, Con. So
Yes, I guess
where
I
does it
have to
fall?
make... Ooh.
Francisco and Max, or
I have
Paul
to
and
say,
Kilowatt?
in my initial, after reading it, I assumed that Kilowatt would be the easy choice. So I think you kind of picked the underdog with Max.
In all fairness, Paul did pick Kilowatt,
Yeah.
so I was left with Max.
But that shouldn't matter.
So, yeah, it is debate, right? So
I would
think,
not let that influence you, though.
Yes, I think if I were just looking at the core argument, I would have to go with Max. However, over the course of the discussion, I think Paul poked some pretty solid holes in the argument, so I have to go with Kilowatt.
I secede to you, Paul.
The first ever winner of the PPPPP.
The RRP postulate.
There you go.
Good job, Paul. I will get you next time.
Wanana.
Listeners, I'd like to ask you if you have an idea for a scenario similar to this, please write on our Facebook wall or email us at feedback@retrorewindpodcast.com. We'd love to do these with other scenarios that you come up with. We have some that we'll definitely do because we have them. But we'd love to get other people serve ideas. And it can be really anything. All you have to do is take a character, two characters from past movies that we've covered on the Retro Rewind podcast and create just some sort of fun scenario on them. You could do, like even from this episode, you could do Hoggle maybe versus the Rocketeer or something wild like that. You just have to...
No. You get Jenny from Labyrinth, not Jenny. Sarah from Labyrinth, and do mixed martial arts against Dorothy from Return to Oz.
See, I was gonna go with Jack Pumpkinhead versus Superman in an orphan-off.
What's an orphan-off?
Yeah, but Jack
neither of them
finds
have
his mother.
parents. Yeah, I know he finds, so he'd win, I guess.
I thought an orphan-off was
Lose
something
because
similar to a
Superman's
gump.
the ultimate orphan.
Yeah, in a gump race. There you go.
But essentially, you have to give us the characters. They have to be from past episodes. You have to give us a setting, and you have to tell us what essentially what the winning conditions are. Like, is it the best sidekick? Is it just who would beat the other in a fight, or something along those lines? So please send those in. We'd love to do them for you. And so, Paul, congratulations on being the first victor of the RRP postulate.
I got lucky because I paid the judge $5.
I'm still waiting for that to clear, by the way.
Yeah.
Maybe he'll change his rating back by the end of the episode.
Check the comments, listeners.
Alrighty. Alice, why don't you see if the communication satellites are up?
Wow, she can see now.
Comsat online. Receiving incoming transmission.
Alrighty. So we do have some feedback that we've gotten on past episodes. I want to say again, thank you to Valerie and Emma for posting on our Facebook about Labyrinth. That is awesome to get your feedback as part of the discussion. In addition, we got, let me see here. So,
Snap, crackle, pop.
oh my gosh. We got another Facebook mention on way back in episode number 5 that was on Mega Man X.
Oh, okay.
Edward posted a So he heard the episode and he couldn't believe that we didn't talk more about the music of the game.
Yeah.
And I responded back, that is totally a slip in our part because the music of Mega Man X, we touched on it a little bit, but we didn't really go into how amazing it was. So
Are you kidding me? That music is so lame. It sounds 16-bit and everything. No, I'm kidding.
I thought you might be kidding. I'm like, really?
Well, I have to say it was an accurate criticism, if that's a bad thing.
But thank you, Edward, for sharing that. And I think we covered the music fairly sufficiently, at least in our
this
dislike
movie?
of it. And for Labyrinth.
For Labyrinth,
yes.
yeah.
Yeah, I feel sorry for the David Bowie lovers, though.
Yeah.
They'll get over it.
We still love you.
No, I
Mr.
just feel
David
sorry for
Bowie
them that they like that junk.
Oh.
Oh, I'm joking. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
So Florida and David Bowie fans are all tuned out now.
Yeah, pretty much.
No, everybody likes different kinds of music, so it's all good. Unfortunately, we just had judges that didn't like David Bowie music. That's all.
Pretty much. And then the next two feedbacks we got were both from Emma. And first was on the last episode we did, Star Trek Episode 4, which was retrorewindpodcast.com/RRP12.
Except it wasn't Star Trek Episode 4. It was Star Trek 4.
I'm sorry, Star Trek 4. I don't know why I was thinking episode.
Star Wars?
That's why, yeah.
Star Trek A New Hope?
I was...
Wow.
Oh,
J.J. Abrams hasn't started yet.
Yeah, right.
Anyways, I'm just she gave a great lengthy response to the episode, so I'm just gonna paraphrase here that she loved the movie, but she loves all things Star Trek. She liked how we talked about time travel, but she really wished that we just would have gotten to the point sooner.
Yeah,
with
we
the
like to
podcast.
ramble.
Yeah, and she sort of the whole the new tube segment and things like that. She's like, just get to the meat of this episode. So that's one of the reasons we switched it up this time. Is
well, not just because of her, because other people said that too.
Yes, I
right.
was just about to say that, Paul.
Oh,
but
sorry.
That's fine. And I also want to point out that she thought that Kirk was dreamy, just as let's see, Bones. I'm totally not paraphrasing her well. So let me move on to, she thought that you're right about number 4 being a good one to give to first-time Trek viewers. She totally agreed with you there, Paul, because the Star Trek The Motion Picture apparently is not a good movie.
Terrible.
Yeah.
And then 2
Everyone agrees
is
with that.
a little too violent, and then 3 is
Disagree
confusing.
with that.
Yeah. Yeah.
2, I would actually recommend for
Yes.
even more than Star Trek 4.
For
So,
kids?
For
a
anyone
new Star
jumping
Trek,
on to
yeah.
the Star Trek franchise.
She said Wrath of Khan is too violent for kiddies. So
Oh, well,
for-
kiddies, yeah. Why are you showing kiddies? I mean, like 4-year-olds don't need to be watching Star Trek movie.
Well, yeah, they probably do. I mean, if you want them to grow up well-rounded.
Like Scotty.
Yes. No, I'll agree with you, though. I think Star Trek 4, you have to be careful as an introduction to Star Trek for people, because
Yeah.
part of its charm is that you know the characters and they're
Yeah.
from the future and space. And if you have no idea who they are, then you don't care that Scotty's talking to a computer. He just looks like a dumb old man.
Yeah, totally. And
And it's cheesy.
Yes, it's very
Where,
cheesy.
whereas Star Trek 2, there are a couple cheesy moments, but not nearly as many as 4.
True.
So thank you for that comment, Emma. And also, Emma responded to our Anne of Green Gables episode, which was retrorewindpodcast.com/RRP7. I believe it's 7.
Or 07.
No, it's always.
Okay, just
I
check.
never-
We
I
should have
always-
done James Bond for 007.
Oh my gosh. I always leave off the zeros in the URL. Anyway, again, she left a very thoughtful comment. So I'm, again, just going to paraphrase. She loved reading the series. She read all the books multiple times, which is amazing. So that reminds me of Valerie, your wife,
Yeah.
Paul, who read the books and loved them.
Yeah,
She's
favorite.
she saw all 3 movies, even the 2000 one, which I didn't realize existed until we did our episode. She thought that Anne was a great role model, and that
Well, to a point.
What was that?
I said to a point, yes.
Well, sure. She was smart, determined, genuine, yet often full of self-doubt.
Yeah.
And she
Great.
still triumphs through that.
Yeah. Well, that is a great aspect, yes.
Yeah. The music was award-winning. She really liked Gilbert and Anne's relationship as it progressed. Something that I had no idea about was, and I'm going to go ahead and read this because I found it very interesting. Anne was especially popular in Japan. I wrote a paper on the Japanese fascination with her character in my first year of college back in the mid-90s. Influences from the book series were seen in cartoons, dress, even architecture. A line of prefab houses were marketed to the Japanese based on a selling point that they looked like Green Gables.
What?
That is awesome.
Wow.
They even had a theme park in Japan at the time, but she wasn't
No.
able to find anything online about it now, unfortunately. But the only one I know of now is the one on Prince Edward Island. So apparently there's some sort of park there to memorialize Anne of Green Gables.
Wow.
But so yeah, I had no idea that there was such fascination from the Japanese with it. But it is very cool to find that out. So thank you, Emma, for that new information and for all your thoughts on the episode, and hope you liked it. Sounds like you did.
Continue to listen or watch or whatever however this direction is going.
Listen and watch, since we're not going to be doing our video regularly, but we will still continue to do it every so often. So watch
And
out
every
for that.
5th episode will be animated.
Are you going to rotoscope us?
Oh, I'm leaving town, you know.
Ah, dang it.
To rotoscope us?
Yes, in another town.
Yeah.
Paul, will you do that?
No, well, if I have the help of Kilowatt, yeah.
That still might take a while.
Yeah. Alrighty. Let's move on to ways that people can get in touch with us. Kellen, let's go ahead and start with you.
Best bet. Find me on Google Plus. I'd say that's the
Google
easiest
Plus.
way for the public to get a hold of me.
Awesome. And speaking of Google Plus, I will be starting a Retro Rewind podcast page on Google Plus in the near future. I just want to make sure I get to a point where I can update it at least as often as Facebook.
All right.
Takes a little bit of learning.
Paul, how about you? How can people contact you?
People can always contact me at pauljpowers.com. From there, there's links to the different social medias: Twitter, Facebook, Google Plus,
MySpace.
not MySpace,
Friendster.
Well, go to pauljpowers.com, and that's where you can
Angel
find out,
Fire.
including my old CompuServe email address. No, that's not.
That's good. That's good.
Oh, I thought you were on Prodigy. Okay. Never mind.
No, CompuServe is way better.
Net Zero.
AOL fellows.
Oh,
Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you, Paul. And if you want to contact me, the best ways to do it are probably through the show, which is feedback. Our email is feedback@retrorewindpodcast.com. Our Facebook page is facebook.com/retrorewindpodcast. And of course, you can always find all our episodes and leave us comments at retrorewindpodcast.com. .com. And if you do fancy yourself to Twitter me, you could find me at FXRUIZX. I know that's a little off, that X at the end, but
We'll have to rewind.
the other one, yeah, you'll have to rewind. The other one wasn't available. Sad face.
Oh, sad face.
Yep.
Oh, wrong one.
No, that's happy.
That's happy. Alrighty, guys, thank you so much. I want to say a special thank you to Paul for always being an awesome co-host, coming on once again, and
Yay,
all your
Go
And-
me.
and my hat to you for besting me in the postulate.
It was close,
Wow.
guys. It was close.
Yeah. I also want to say a very heartfelt thank you to Kellen for coming on the show once again. You did an
Yeah.
awesome job giving us your opinion. Good job, Paul. Giving us your opinion about Labyrinth. I was about to say Return to Oz.
I did that too.
Yeah, but Labyrinth specifically this time. It is great to have you.
My pleasure.
And listeners, I want to say the biggest thank you to you, because it is so awesome that you join with us in reminiscing about these old movies and that you listen to us. Whether you agree with us or not, I still appreciate that you take the time to listen to our opinions. And I love it when you let us know what you think, if you agree or disagree. And it's always awesome to hear back from you, and really appreciate you guys. If you'd like to support the show, and I mean, just listening to us is support in of itself. So thank you for that. But if you'd like to go further, we'd very much appreciate an iTunes rating and or review. That's a great way to help other people find the show on iTunes. The best way to get to our iTunes page is retrorewindpodcast.com/RRP iTunes. And I'm just going to double check that real quick.
So,
Oh, I got that reversed. It's retrorewindpodcast.com/iTunes RRP. So my bad.
wait, iTunes RRP is one word?
Yes, exactly.
Okay.
And that'll kick you right to the iTunes page for us.
Okay.
And from there, you'll have to launch into iTunes because it's kind of janky how that works. But
Apple.
from there, you can would very much appreciate an iTunes review and rating. You can also find us on Stitcher Radio. And you could rate us there as well. But so that's one way to support the show. Another way is just sharing us, telling your friends about the show, saying, hey, go check out this podcast if they enjoy podcasts and old movies and old video games. We hope that you like us so much that you'd like to share us.
Sounds good.
Sounds good.
Sweet.
And the last way to help keep the lights on is to buy a riff track. On the side of our website, there's a little button that buy a riff track, support the show. If you don't know what riff tracks are, they're like, if you know Mystery Science Theater 3000, it's that same thing, same people that made Mystery Science. Apparently, Paul's not a big fan.
That means I like it.
Oh,
yeah,
because I can
obviously
tell from
It's me gusta.
Okay.
That's no me gusta.
They do pretty much a running commentary, funny commentary about the movie, and they just give you an MP3 that you can play during the movie. So
It's hysterical.
yeah, buying one of theirs, we get a little affiliate commission from that. So that's a great way to support the show. All right. For me, for Paul, for Kellen, thank you so much. And like a Pokemon, we'll catch you later.
All right.
All right. Yeah.
Retro Rewind mission complete. Proceed to nav point Omega and return to base.
Bumping the microphone.
I thought it was shooting me.
This is where we should have fart noises from the swamp.
Karaoke edition.
That would be awesome.
No, bad.
No. To the chopper.
I'm going to cut it there.
Yeah, I'm stopping the video.
Connor.